Yo, hello internet, Jesse McDougall here, doing some productive procrastination. Book review today, The Man's Guide to Women. So, this book was recommended to me by my girlfriend's best friend, Erica Beauchamp. She's awesome. Twice, just kind of over the course of 6 months. When someone's a professional in something or they dedicated their lives to something, if there's like a repeating recommendation, a lot of times people are trying to help people, but other people don't want the help, or they're just not ready for it, or whatever, right? Or something like that. So, I've been guilty of that too. I've always tried to work on my coachability and learn new things. At the same time, I know enough to keep myself going, and there's only so much time, so you can't get listen to everyone else, right? You got to do your own thing. But when people recommend things multiple times, or if I hear something from multiple independent sources, yeah, you better look into that, right? So this one here, it's by the Gottmans, which is pretty amazing. And it's a really, I guess we'll say, it's definitely a level up book for men. Like, every man should read this book. Like, yeah, I'd say about 20 years old or so. I mean, it's not going to hurt you reading this book, and it's really easy. They wrote it for men, so it's kind of like simple words. There's pictures, there's highlighted chapter summaries at the end of it too. A lot of jokes too. It's written for men, but I gotta be honest, it's like it's a very basic book, like entry level for men into women, that kind of whole thing. But there's a lot of gems in here that I learned a lot out of this book. So I rated this book a 5 out of 5 on Goodreads. And yeah, I don't know if I want to read this whole thing, or I just highlighted so much stuff in here, man. Yeah, I'm not going to go into it all. It's a very good book. Very good book. Okay, so whatever. I'll read a couple minutes of highlighted notes. Introduction. We also want to speak up for the man in your life and let you in on one little secret. He is dreadfully lost and confused. It's true. Like, men, we want our women to be happy, but we just don't know. Albert Einstein couldn't figure out women. One of the smartest men ever. Men freely admit this, that they don't know. And it's okay not to know. That it's not weakness communicating that you don't know something. You don't know something, you want to know, you just start with that and ask questions, and guess what? You can find out. Someone will help you along the way. Your man desperately wants to understand how to love you, make you happy, ensure that you desire and want him, and only him forever. He wants to fight with you less, right? Men, you have the power to make or break a relationship. That's right. Research shows that when men do in a relationship is, by a large margin, the crucial factor that separates a great relationship from a failed relationship. Now I'm going to pause here. This book, it's cool, but I did find, but this book is written for men specifically. A lot of the stuff they're writing, you could put W-O in front of man, and the same principle switches. So one thing I know, relationship is a two-way street, right? It's a lot of work to maintain a relationship. Should it be a lot of work? I don't know. Like, I really don't know. All I know is that I put a lot of work into my relationship, because of past lessons, and I've been fortunate. I've had some very great relationships with some beautiful women, and I fucked up quite a bit of them, right? As I look at, just from A, being an asshole, from B, just being young, just 3, not knowing. So, you just try to do your best to improve every time, and, I'm with a great woman now, and that's amazing. So, yeah, I want to make it work, right? So, I know she really enjoyed that I read this book. We actually read it together. She was interested in some of the notes. Like, I was reading this morning at 7:30, and I kind of laughed. She woke up and she was like, what? She looked over, I was reading the book, and we started talking about the book, which I think is cool, right? That's a way for us to put time equally together into something. Now, for example, if I were to read Rome, the legions of Rome with her, and talk about all the humans and the armies that have died in Roman history, yeah, she's not really going to be as excited about her boyfriend reading this book. So, especially if your girlfriend wants to get married, which, you know, I've been being pressured for 4 years to get married. It is what you do and the way you think that matters the most. All of the research studies shows that men who are in happy, healthy relationships make more money, have more sex. Yes, believe it or not, married men typically have much more and better sex than single men, live longer, suffer less chronic illness, and show less cognitive impairment. So, if you have a life partner as a man, you are going to live longer. That's what this book says. It kind of makes sense. You know, you can create all these different scenarios. So everything in here, all these other different scenarios where, oh, you know, this, you know, negates what they say in here. And like, I get it, right? There's not one sentence doesn't fit all scenarios in life. So when I read some of this stuff, I'm like, okay, well, I agree with that, but I don't, and this and that. It's okay to do that. Like when you read a book, it's not the be all and end all, right? But these people have dedicated their lives to this relationship kind of stuff. So I absorb as much as I can, but at the same time, you maintain your own opinion, your own influence. Okay, understanding a woman. What? The number one thing women look for simply is this: trustworthiness. You are who you say you are and do what you say you are going to do. Whoa, what a concept. Don't be a douchebag. Don't lie. Don't cheat. Don't steal. Like, when fathers are not involved with their kids, there's a 5 times greater likelihood that the kids will live in poverty and 3 times greater likelihood that they fail in school and 2 times greater likely that they will have emotional and behavioral problems, use drugs, get involved in crime, or commit suicide. Men make a difference, and men matter immensely to women and to their children. So there's a reason why women are looking for men who are trustworthy. Men who learn emotional attunement get ultimately what they want from their relationships. Less fighting, and more sex. Yay! More sex. What man doesn't want more sex? I'm going to hold my next comment on that one. Give your undivided attention when it's needed. Attention equals affection. Attention ultimately is how you express love. Turn towards her while you talk. Connect with your heart. Point your heart at the person you're talking to, and it's a good way to build rapport. Don't offer a solution. That's the problem with men. You know, men are logical. They want to fix things. Like, just don't. Women don't want you to do that, right? They want you to be there, but they want you to listen to them. Like, especially for me, I'm dating a lioness. She's kind of an A-type personality. It's weird though, because she's very she's a queen, right? So I'm not used to queens, right? I've had a lot of princesses, but dealing with the queen, it's a little different. It's next level, but and I try my best to not tell her the solution. She doesn't want that. She just wants someone to talk to, wants someone to listen to, and that's cool with me. That's cool with me. So don't offer a solution. Don't try to distract her. Don't think of how you can fix the problem. Don't make jokes, and don't minimize the problem. Ask the questions about what she is feeling. Show genuine interest and attempting to understand why this is important to her. Listening is sexier than talking. Asking questions is sexier than broadcasting. It's kind of interesting with women because I'll do social experiments when I'm out and stuff. I'll just start talking to them, and or my other friends too, because a lot of them are single and they're quite well at picking up women. And you just see, you kind of rope the women in, right? And the women will choose you as opposed to taking her, right? But I got one friend, you'll just walk up to a girl, just take her, start dancing with her, and it works. It's pretty cool to see from an observer standpoint. For women, being sexual is equivalent to being vulnerable. Fear that you will hurt her emotionally. Oh, never mind that one. What do men want? A man wants to be desired and to feel like the woman in his life wants him, adores him, and approves of him just the way he is. So Yeah, so that's good. He's just needed to know that she wanted to feel less alone. He just needed to know that she wanted to feel less alone. Men can also feel alone in a relationship too. So that's why, like, that's a good example of this book, right? There should be a book. I'm pretty sure they have one. The Women's Guide to Men, right? I'd probably, give that book to my girlfriend as well. Not saying that, hey, you're a bad girlfriend. Just, hey, well, this cool book that my girlfriend's friend is, I can't remember what she's got she's trained by the Gottmans. So I think that would work good if I got her that book. I don't even know if that book exists. The goal of the boys was, oh yeah, this is cool. It talks about the difference between emotional conflict or emotional issues with men and women. So, and they talked about like little kids. The goal of the boys was to keep the ball in play no matter what the cost. Emotions just got in the way of the game. Crying was like an unwelcome leech that had landed on someone and was messing up the fun. We want the fun. We want the fun to keep going, right? That's what we do. The goal is to get rid of the leech and continue the play. This seems to be true of males whether they're 8 or 48. The goal for men is generally dispensing with the emotion so the play and fun can continue. Emotions are a way of getting closer. Emotions are not a problem for girls. They're a good thing, an opportunity for intimacy. To girls, expressing the feelings requires taking a risk, opening up, and trusting one another. The bottom line. When men say a woman is being emotional, they are not talking about joy, fun, play, humor, interest, excitement, adventure, lust, or passion. For women, there are no negative emotions, and it's true. Is it true? I don't know. Negative emotions are okay. You just have to know how to deal with these emotions. Emotions are just as natural as breathing. Emotions are opportunity for intimacy. So that put in there twice. So guys looking to improve their relationship with their girlfriend or their date, when you try to recognize when your girlfriend is emotionally communicating with you, that's the time she's getting her oven, her sexual oven, warmed up, right? So men are just, let's go have sex, we're done, okay, go to the next thing. Women are different. They like to be, they're ovens, not microwaves. So that's a great time. So if you have a heart-connected heart, she's talking, she feels safe, she feels secure, and she's talking about emotions, you're on the right path, brother. Whether you're trying to increase your love, increase your relationship, or just get laid. The goal is to understand the unique, amazing, annoying, complex, frustrating, fascinating person you are in a relationship with. Show up and attune when your woman needs you. See, that's called attunement, when you're attuning your vibrational frequency with your partner. This is what it's meant to understand the heart of a woman. Seems like a kind of important thing. Let's see here. Yeah, this is going to be a long podcast here. So, when a woman is afraid, hold her hand. Try to help her avoiding feeling afraid in the first place. Make her feel secure. Strong man. That's why I'm an advocate for men being strong men, men having an opinion, men improving their intelligence. The world needs men to protect, right? I was having a conversation with a successful friend yesterday about France, I believe, and how he was very displeased with France. He said it's very feminized now, and that makes that affects the society. It does. So there's another book I haven't read yet. I'm pretty excited to. It's called A Sky Without Eagles. Let's talk about manhood, why being a man, staying a man, why it's important to humans. So I'm kind of just learning who I am, right? And just be a man. And women want a strong man. You don't have to be strong like how much you can bench. It's like how much that's so funny. Or you're a big fighter like me or something. But you just, support, trustworthiness. You're that pillar. You make her feel safe and secure. You're good. But at the same time, man, women, they're feisty. They can go like visceral. I was at the Guns N' Roses concert on the weekend, and it was phenomenal. So here's one scenario where, good example of being a man and holding your ground, and certain things are non-negotiable. It's okay to, I have certain things that aren't negotiable. Like, they're just not. So for me in my relationship, you cross those non-negotiable lines, like, no, that it just doesn't work. Like, that's not even an option. And that's okay. You have to have those things, and women want you to have those things subconsciously, because it shows you stand for something, like core values of who you are, right? So back to the Guns N' Roses concert, they were doing the encore. I forget what song it was. It was just beyond epic, and everybody's rocking out, and I'm rocking. I see this guy. He's just like giving her. He's a great time. There's like 30,000 people were on the floor. Like, Slash is right there. It's pretty crazy. And his wife leaves, like, because it's time to go, because the next song and 30,000 people going out. She probably wanted to. Well, it was like a 3-hour concert, so she's probably tired of the noise and wanted to beat the traffic. And she leaves right outside of the row in the aisle, and he's just rocking, and she just starts yelling at him. She's like, hey, John, let's go. And her face was just like, let's go now. Like, she laid the boss. She showed her fierce. And the husband went like this. He didn't want to leave. He went like this. And he walked away. No. That's not acceptable, in my opinion. It's just not. You're at a Guns N' Roses concert. They're legends. You're watching the encore. This is like, 200 years from now, people will still listen to Guns N' Roses music, right? And they haven't toured in I don't know how many years. The fact that they're even touring, and they're not even doing many shows, like maybe 10 shows. For me, that's a good example of like, no, woman, you can go home. I'm staying the concert. I would just have kept ignoring her. And yeah, she'll be mad and butthurt or whatever, but who cares? Deal with it. You're out of line, in my opinion, right? So, because I find there's a lot of men now that are unhappily married, and I don't want to be that. Where the women just take over and run over the men, and it's I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Women are attracted to men who are the CEO and president of themselves. Bam. It's just the same thing I just said there, just in different words. Confidence comes from being secure in your abilities. Arrogance actually comes from being insecure in your abilities. The cool thing about insecurity, and I've always said this, it's okay to be insecure. Like, insecurity, like, you are insecure. I'm insecure. We're all insecure. Everybody's insecure about something, right? Okay, well, what is insecurity? Insecurity is a lack of experience, a lack of knowledge in whatever area. So, let's say I'm inexperienced with communicating to women. Okay, well, how do I become secure about talking to women? Talk to women. What do you say, woman? I don't know. Let's say, hi, my name's Jesse. I just want to come over and say hi to you because I got to be honest with you, if you don't mind. I'm a little insecure about talking to women. That scares a lot of people, apparently. That's one area, right? So if you have that conversation with her, who knows? She might be like, oh, you're freaking out here. You're a sociopath. Or she just might start laughing. And then you could ask her for help, right? Just talk. It's just do. So the more you do of some skill, you become secure. And that's how it works. So when people have like prescription drugs for insecurities, it's like, dude, it's chemical imbalances is another thing, but a lot of prescription drugs people are on, you just heal yourself through a holistic nutrition, or you just face your fears like a man. Look yourself in the mirror, have an honest conversation with yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Talk to your partner, talk to your family, talk to your friends. I just hired a spiritual guy to have my first session last week, and it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. A single woman will scan the room instantly. So single guys, watch for this. Watch for around. If a girl's scanning the room, she knows, right? Determine which males are attractive enough for her to send the approach me smoke signals. And this is cool. starting to play around with it, just communicating non-verbally, picking up on cues, right? It's pretty cool. It's interesting. Take up space. The person who takes up the most space is considered socially dominant. And I've been experimenting with this, especially at all the concerts. The concerts I go to, my arms are up. Most men, like, they won't raise their arms higher than their shoulders. So for me, I always have my arms up. I'm filming here, or I'm dancing, I'm moving my arms around. I start shadow boxing at concerts. It's kind of funny, but just what I do, right? I'm just being myself. I don't really, but I feel insecure about doing that, like shadow boxing, and I'm on the floor, there's 30,000 people. Yeah, there's a couple people watching me, and I get insecure about it, but I turn around, and sometimes I'll just turn around. So like the stage will be here, I'll turn around here and start filming in reverse or whatever, and then I look, because there's nobody looking at me, right? It's just in my head that, no, I'm not that important, right? People are looking at the stage, so that's been helping me get my insecurity of, being myself in public or whatever, I don't know. But yeah, so hands up in the air, maximize your space. Women notice that, right? They notice, like, socially maximizing your space. Space maximizers showing their dominance in a social setting by stretching out their legs, throwing an arm around their chair, or otherwise owning the space they occupied. Own your shit, man. If you're in a group of people and are practically hugging yourself, you're not going to be as socially dominant. Never stand with one arm across your torso, holding the other arm across or crossing your legs at the knee. Yeah, and never do this. It's just bad. You look pissed off, right? Like for me as a bouncer, I bounced for years in bars and stuff, and I'm kind of used to just sitting here, you're kind of watching around, looking for fights, looking for drunk people, looking for hot girls to talk to. So, but apparently that's not what you do. Oh, intra-gender touching. Slapping your buddy on the back or throwing an arm around his shoulders, mano a mano. That gives a signal. Women pick up on that, and they like that. It's attractive to them because it shows that you're a good person, you have friends and stuff like that. Trustworthiness. If you're someone who fidgets or makes crazy, random, nervous gestures with your hand, you're going to appear less confident, less socially dominant, and therefore less desirable to women. Women are attracted to confidence. Hey, bro. I didn't make up the rules, man. It's just the game. Women tilt their heads, give a particular man short glances, dart their eyes if he looks, run their fingers through their hair, lick their lips, and expose their necks. I didn't know it was expose their necks. Like, that's cool. These women show their palms to the man, hiked up their skirts a bit, revealed more of their legs, turned in the seats, or caress an object. They walk across the room, swaying their hips, brushed by a man, touching him fleetly with their thighs or breasts. Direct eye contact, a smile, repeatedly glancing at you and away from you. These are signals. What you do with them is entirely up to you. So I get this a lot at concerts too. I notice in Vancouver. Vancouver's an interesting city because women in their 30s, their biological clock is ticking, so there's a lot of fear, and they have to compete, and they're looking for a good man. So it's I get girls bumping into me all the time or talking to me at concerts and stuff, because I'm usually by myself at a lot of concerts, and it's just interesting. You pick up on these cues, right? And also, like, a woman can make eye contact with you, bump into you or whatever, and it's not a sexual thing. It's not like she wants to pick you up and she wants to go home with you tonight, or she wants to take you away from your girlfriend. Just accepting that encounter and feeling those feelings of what that is. And it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool. A word of caution: if you choose to approach without having the signal, you're risking a high rejection percentage. And so for me, I don't know. I'm just learning this kind of stuff. So I would always approach the woman I want. And usually I'm approaching a 9 or a 10, like a babe, right? And so it's going to be hit or miss. So for me, I like strong women, so strong women would appreciate a strong man approaching them. And I believe all women do. I don't know. It's just what I did. And yeah, but approaching, you're going to be, rejected or denied, but you got to get used to it right away. That's a social anxiety, and I still have a lot of that, but good thing I don't have to deal with that because I'm in a 5-year relationship, but so I can just do it as social experiments, right? Because I don't have anything to gain there. I'm just saying hi to you as a person, right? So you approach a woman, and based on her response, you just say, hey, how's it going? Just smile. If she like looks down or looks away or does this, or are you a serial killer? And just walk away. It's all right. Okay. Yeah, right here. If you approach a woman and she decides, or she continues to talk to her friend, she's not interested. If she won't make eye contact with you while politely engaging in small talk, or she is overlooking your head and scanning the room, your chances are less than 0. If she yawns or leans away, you need to move on. And nothing worse is like when a girl's not interested in you, keep trying. Unless you're a little ninny like me and get her laughing. That's the trick, just get her laughing, right? Okay, where men go wrong is thinking that she will suddenly become interested once she finds out how fascinating, rich, or muscular you are, right? Yeah, I've been kind of guilty of that when I was younger. Anyways, we're gonna wrap it up here. 26-minute podcast, and yeah, that was only 3 chapters. So this book is really easy to read. It's under 200 pages. Like the font is pretty big. It's flooded with like just gems. But yeah, this is a pretty amazing book. I'm going to recommend, so like if you want to increase your overall emotional intelligence or knowledge with women, there's 3 books I'm going to recommend, kind of like a course. And if you read these books, I'm pretty sure you're good to go. You can take the rest from there. This book here, The Man's Guide to Women. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, emotional bullshit, and how to get over your breakup. If you read those 4 books, you're pretty good in terms of like you having to get educated on emotions and women and whatever. The rest of that is entirely up to you. So, for example, on another avenue, in entrepreneur world, for me, I got my university degree, I got my chartered accountant designation, audited tons of companies, seen hundreds of companies' financial statements, how the companies work, went into the corporate world, had some big roles there for my age, and then went into entrepreneurship because I wanted to use the knowledge that I've acquired for my benefit. And it wasn't all about me, just that's the way my path went. So like, if you read those 4 books and you read this book, you have to apply the knowledge from the books or your education or your real life work experience for yourself in the entrepreneur world. So I hope you enjoyed this. I kind of like doing this podcast. I don't know, it's kind of fun. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I promise to release better content, more effective content at a professional level as my entrepreneur path grows. But right now, I've got other priorities, right? So thank you so much for listening.